When millions of people book a flight to Ireland every year, they expect one very specific view: rolling emerald hills, dramatic coastlines, and perfectly pristine landscapes. But the reality of living on the edge of the Atlantic involves enduring a rugged, wind-battered environment, deeply isolating for most of the year. The heavy rains and relentless winds exert a constant physical pressure on human life. Geographers study this through the lens of environmental determinism, the idea that a specific climate forces people to build their entire culture around the demands of the land. Look closely at this map, and you'll see how these intense weather systems dictate exactly where people can physically survive. Historical settlements naturally cluster in areas offering geographic shields from the worst coastal impact zones. These rural traditions represent highly evolved survival mechanics, engineered over centuries to keep people alive in this specific geography. Growing large-scale crops in Western Ireland is nearly impossible because of the rocky, uneven terrain and a remarkably thin layer of topsoil. However, the one resource this land has in abundance is constant Atlantic rain. This creates rich, thick grass, making livestock farming the only reliable method for turning this terrain into a food source. Navigating these damp, steep hillsides requires a highly specialized approach. Farmers rely entirely on flocks of ajam. These flocks provide a reliable source of protein, while simultaneously producing the heavy, insulating wool required to endure the freezing, damp winters. The image of the solitary Irish shepherd represents a strict economic necessity dictated entirely by the soil beneath their boots. Communities living near the coast face intense daily threats: horizontal gale force winds and a highly corrosive salt mist. The traditional stone cottage serves as the primary defense mechanism against this environment. Builders use local fieldstone to construct thick walls that create a physical barrier against the biting cold. This diagram shows the physics of a thatched roof in action. The distinct curved aerodynamic shape prevents gale force winds from catching the edges and tearing the structure apart. These building techniques have remained standard because the weather has remained unchanged. This method of construction has protected families across multiple generations. The result is architecture acting as a geographic shield. These homes are built directly from the harsh earth to withstand the harsh earth. But physical survival is only half the equation. The long, dark, and incredibly wet winters present a severe threat of psychological isolation. This environmental pressure transformed the local pub into a historically vital necessity. These spaces functioned as communal, heated living rooms for people trapped in cold, dispersed agricultural settlements. The tradition of gathering around a fire to share music, stories, and conversation served as an essential psychological countermeasure to the depressing external environment. The legendary warmth and social cohesion of the Irish people is a direct engineered response to the coldness of their geography. Seen through this lens, the landscape serves as a living record of human adaptation. The flocks of sheep, the thick stone walls, and the crowded firesides are the physical evidence of a population that mastered a wildly unpredictable environment. Understanding a place means looking past the postcard. A country's greatest masterpiece is the resilient culture forged by its land.